Hello and welcome back. Unregulated illegal construction has led to lengthy court actions, land shortages and local economic crises across Spain's Costa del Sol. Local authorities are mostly bankrupt and many investors are living in houses threatened with demolition. Juliana Ruhfus continues her investigation.
With so many of Marbella's politicians facing serious charges and up to 30,000 illegally constructed properties, it is now crucial that the authorities are seen to be doing something. This block, named Banana Beach, is a symbolic case, built without the right permits. It now has a demolition order hanging over it. It is hardly a loss to the developers who've long moved on, but the apartment's owners have paid over 300,000 euros, and it is their future and investment which is in limbo. This British couple is staying in their son-in-law's apartment.
He thought it was a fantastic investment at the time that he did it, because this is the only development that he could find where he could walk out of the front door onto the beach. He still thinks it's a good investment. We know all about this court case hanging about, but of course the people who are selling the apartments don't actually tell you about that until you've got signed. It surprises me that the amount of money that is now coming into Spain from Europe, from Britain, Germany, that the Spanish government should not help out the people who are investing this money by removing these threats.
Lawyer José Ortiz also owns a flat in Banana Beach. In response to the demolition threat, Ortiz and others have launched the campaign to save the block from destruction. Has it been completely decided that Banana Beach is going to be destroyed? I mean, what will you do if they come to knock down your flat, your house?
Bueno, nosotros realmente esperamos que no llegue.
We really hope there will be no demolitions. In fact, it's possible they won't knock these properties down. Justice and law are not going to allow this. We are immersed in this judicial process, which is probably going to rule in our favor eventually.
But in spite of all the money being made through properties and planning, once more, it's the council's lack of cash which is proving the problem.
When things are done legally, the owners have the rights to compensation equal to the value of our house at the time of the demolition. The problem is that the compensation has to come from the town council, and in this case, the Marbella City Council is bankrupt. They cannot pay for this.
Combined compensation costs for illegally constructed properties on the Costa del Sol could run up to 6.5 billion euro. The environmental group Ecologistas en Acción has been crucial in trying to instigate demolition cases. They have long campaigned that Banana Beach should become an example. How successful are the courts in taking up these cases?
Impugnaciones en estos años ha habido miles. Ecologistas en Acción.
There have been thousands of legal challenges over the years in courts. Ecologists in Action have acted in hundreds of them, and political parties and citizens as well. In a way, there have been two towns, one which has campaigned against this, and another which has just sat and watched this chaotic growth, which we knew would end like it has done. The town has lost its inheritance in land, and we cannot now even find land for schools.
How critical is the situation now?
Construction has stopped because there is no legal security for investors. There are no legal rules to let them keep building, and so the town is suffering a severe economic crisis at the moment.
Huge cash flows ensured a law of silence. That's the explanation published in a report by an investigative center in Malaga University 4 years ago, long before the police acted. A crucial series of conditions coincided: generally high property investment in Europe, a flow of northerners retiring in the south, Spanish second home buying booming with low interest rates, added to well-used practices for tax evasion. They all served as perfect cover for international organized crime.
We are also looking at a very unregulated construction sector in Spain, which is facilitating the money laundering of drug proceeds into the country. Economic crime in Spain has never been seen as serious as it is.
The raid on lawyer Del Valle's offices was the culmination of a chain of events which didn't even begin in Spain. Only when a French judge requested information about mafia investments of drugs money did the Spanish police start their first investigation into illegal construction. Some are critical about how much Del Valle's case has been put into the limelight.
I want to pardon this lawyer, but there is so much money going on in the area that and people are not willing to ask where this money is coming from.
As police investigations continue, it is becoming increasingly clear that criminal money from all over Europe and Russia has been driving the property boom in the Costa del Sol. José Antonio Martín Pallín is a judge at the Superior Court, the highest judicial authority in Spain.
I am in favor of doing everything that's possible to demolish the houses. Marbella is a spotlight, but the problem is much more serious and widespread in other parts of the coast.
A lot of people knew for quite a while that there was a problem with urban planning on the Costa del Sol. Why have the investigations been launched now?
Investigating crimes of this nature is not easy. In the first place, there is a need for a judge with great courage and power. Many judges for many years looked the other way and saw this was the result. There should be a specialized police force, but there is always the risk that corruption enters this investigating mechanism and that there are attempts to bribe judges, policemen, etc. In my opinion, at this time the mafia is a far bigger danger than terrorism. They are aware of the power they have and they know they can corrupt the state.
Back in Manilva, on the southernmost tip of the Costa del Sol, there is still some greenfield land to conserve. It even boasts one, albeit tiny, stretch of unspoiled beach.
In the whole Costa del Sol, this is the only townland where you can still see the sea from the road.
Whilst officials in Marbella are trying to decide how to deal with the illegally constructed properties, the mayor of Manilva is confident that he already has the right team in place.
The future of the whole town, in which we are staking a lot, is that people support the new project with enthusiasm and faith. And we have got the working team in the council to develop this new plan. And they are sufficiently motivated to work on the big reforms we will need in the future.
For most of this Costa, it is far too late. But the new team in the town hall in Manilva is determined to do what they can. They have decided to say no to developers and their offers of easy and sometimes dirty money.
A British couple have become the first victims of illegal land grabs. Their villa has been demolished by local Spanish authorities. Thousands of expatriates could see their homes bulldozed on the Costas as the government cracks down. That's Juliana's last report for a while. She's now seconded to the UN as a special advisor on Somalia, but she'll be back with us later in the year. Now, if you haven't heard that the price of oil has recently hit what analysts call the psychologically important $100 a barrel mark, then you must have been in the remotest part of the world. Experts and investors are clamoring to provide an explanation for ever-rising oil prices. These range from trouble in Nigeria and to the fact that we're finding less oil and using much more. And even when we do find new deposits, it's difficult to get out. If you recall, our own Max Kaiser reported the view that oil has in effect peaked and that even Saudi Arabia, the country with the biggest oil reserves, can't come to our rescue.
So all we have to do is somehow find liquid fuels that would amount to 60 million barrels a day. That's 6 times what we currently get from Saudi Arabia. So, on average for the next, between now and 2030, we have to find a new Saudi Arabia every 4 years.
If I'm hearing correctly, you're saying that even a rise in Saudi Arabia from 9 million barrels to 12 million barrels is doubtful.
Yes, because in the last year, roughly, Saudi Arabian production has decreased from 9.5 million barrels a day to 8.5 million.
So in fact, production is going down.
It is going down continually.
But listen, you would probably know better than anyone else. There's, all these companies out there trying to press this point that the Saudi desert has unlimited oil reserves, and yet every other major field in the world is declining in reserves. Is that possible, or is there maybe some shenanigans going on? What do you think? You're going to keep quiet on that. Well, all right, I can understand, you know.
And had Max stayed a little bit longer with those camels, he might have learned that experts are also saying that the $100 a barrel is in large part a made-in-China phenomenon, given that China alone is responsible for a third of the growth in oil consumption. This has now made the hustings of the American presidential race. With the high price of oil and China becoming the largest emitter of greenhouse gases, many experts are saying that the biggest foreign policy issue for the next president will involve China's economic growth. That is, they should get more involved in the Far East than the Middle East. And on that note, we come to the end of our program. If you have any views you'd like to share with us, then please do get in touch on aljazeera.net/English. Until next time, goodbye.